Okay, good afternoon and welcome to our Techie Thursday sessions here at TECHIE, where we take advantage of this high webinar technology to show you our most important features and services that we have to offer. Always, and as always, I mean, and again, another feature that is free of charge to any of our customers here at TECHIE. What we're going to be talking about today is basically a simple application, very well known as a soft phone. A soft phone is nothing else than a phone, like your desktop phone, only that instead of having it on a desk or a physical box, or as we call it around here, a paperweight, you can have this phone, this dial pad, this phone, this IP phone installed on your computer, be it a Mac, Windows, iOS for Apple devices such as the iPad and the iPhone, or Android phones for tablets, and Google Play for tablets and Android phones. So without further ado, I'll share my screen here real quick, and I'm going to show you how to get Office Line in the first place. So, just 1 second. Where do I find Office Line? Very simple. Simply go to TECHIE.com, click on the upper menu, click on Help. Quickly go to the knowledge base, search for IP phones, scroll down, go to soft phone, and click on download Office Line. Office Line, like I said before, is available for Android and Google Play on the App Store for iOS, for Windows, which is a downloadable application, and Mac OS X as a downloadable application as well. But best of all, it's also available on Chrome. What that means is that we don't need to download an application. This can run right off your Chrome browser. What's the advantage of this? Two. First of all, if you're on a shared computer, you can simply log in, right? Go to the link, log in using your credentials, and you start making phone calls as if you were sitting on your desk phone. It's your office phone number dialing from a browser. Isn't that amazing? I mean, for me, something that used to be unbelievable in the past. And second, the other advantage that you can take if you're using Chromebooks, which is basically a computer made by Google called Chromebook, you can simply have this running on your browser, on your Chrome browser. So if you click on any of those, it'll take you to the link. Just download. Make sure you're logged in into the appropriate. Log in into the appropriate device. In this case, you should be on either Android device, a tablet or a smartphone. If you were to click on the App Store, same thing. This is for iOS devices, meaning the iPad and the iPhone. And like I mentioned before, if you wanted to simply download the application, you would have to click either for the Windows desktop or the Mac version. They all look the same. They have exactly the same functionality. There's nothing different between any of them. It's exactly the same functionality, but basically supporting all popular applications that we have here. So having said that, let's take a look at how the phone looks. Obviously, I have it completely fitting my screen here, so that's why it looks as you can see here. You can always resize it and do whatever you want to do with that. So what do we have here? Basically, a dial pad for making phone calls. You simply input a phone number and dial said phone number. As simple as that. What happens next is basically features that allow you to control this call as it would be a IP phone. You can transfer calls, you can hold calls, but you can also record calls. So for recording a call, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dial a number that's going to have no background, nobody answering the phone. This way, I can show you really quick how to record and retrieve a call from right here. that number is on their phone. So let's basically do it the other way around, and let's dial that number. I'm going to dial into the office line. I'm going to pick it up right here on the office line desktop application. As you can see, it's running right here. That's why you see this icon. I pick up the call. I mute this phone. And as you see here, there's a call control for this call. Basically, I can transfer a call. I can start recording a call. I simply click the call. It's just recording. By the way, this call is going to be recorded on a computer. It's not going to be recorded in the cloud. So this is for you to keep. Here, I can do an attendant transfer, which basically is dialing in somebody else's extension or number, announcing the transfer, and then executing the transfer. I can obviously mute the call or place the call and hold. So let's say we finish up this call. I hang up, and I see that record right here, and I can see the call that I made right here. If I want to retrieve that recording, I click on the Recordings tab. It's right here. I can play it back, and I can also download it or delete the file. Again, this recording is on my computer right now. It's on the computer that you're making that phone come from. So that's how this one works. On your left side, you have basically a call log, nothing else. Of the calls that you've made, calls that you've received, as you can click dial or basically add to that contact if you want to keep those phone numbers. Right here on settings, what I would like to do here is show you media resources, which basically you can specify what items to use as an audio and video device. In this case, I have a speakerphone where I'm actually on this webinar, so I don't want to make phone call or play too much with it, where all the audio comes in and the audio comes out. You can also obviously select my default microphone, right? You would do that and then click save. For the sake of this example, I'm going to keep it on that device and click save to make sure that nothing happened here. Now, let's take a look at how the web version looks like. And basically, any Chrome browser, as you can see here, this is Google Chrome. I click on the URL, deskphone.cloudsoftphone.com, you click enter, and then Office Line is loading. What's the difference between this one and the one running on the computer is basically that this is not a desktop. Okay, I have to log out of the other instance that I have right here. I'm sorry for that. I log out and then I can log back in on my Chrome browser using my credentials that you already know. So credentials provided by Nextgy upon sign up of the service. And you see you have the same exact application running on the browser. So that means that it's either on a shared browser or a shared computer, as long as it is the Chrome browser, but it can be running on a Chromebook machine, as I mentioned before. In the Chromebook also obviously supports only the Chrome browser, so that's the way that you would do it. And so you can have this pinned and have it physically running right there without being, capable of closing it out or exiting it out like any other application. Now, the other one that I want to show you here is my iPhone's Office Line. So basically, you'll see it looks exactly the same. It's basically the same application running on my iPhone right now. If it were your Windows computer, it would be the same. You're looking exactly the same as you can see here. And I've got basic functionality. So if I were to dial, now obviously if I dial any number here, you won't be able to listen to the audio. So I just want to show you what happens when I dial a wrong number, because that was a wrong number. 433-7300. So when I dial a number here, and that call is answered on the receiving party, I have the same call control as you saw before. I can basically go right here, place it on hold, start recording the call, as I did before, by clicking on that button right there. I can transfer the call. I can add a call, basically a conference one, or I can do the same attendant transfer call, right? So let's hang out that call. And basically what happened here is that if you go to the history and the call log, which is that number right there, you'll see that the call was recorded. That's why you see this play button right here and the sequence of the call. So that's what happens right here on Office Line. That's basically the contact, right? I mean the keypad. Let's go to contacts. Contacts is basically reading from your existing contact or address book on your phone, okay? History, basically your call log, calls that have come in, calls that have come out. Quick dials for you to just set up your favorites. I'm gonna go right here to the one that says team, and by team, we mean your company's roster. So basically I wanna look for, say, one right here. Sorry for the screen right now, it's not looking so much on the so I can, look for my CFO right here, click on his name, and quickly by clicking this button right here on the lower left side, I can dial his extension without having to, memorize or at least know his extension. It's basically pretty straightforward. Okay. Now, what's messages? What am I looking right now? Messages is a way for you to communicate internally. It's like a private chat, or it's exactly what I'm going to be receiving. We have 56 participants. That's nice. So messages is where I'm going to be receiving text messages sent to my business number. So really simple. Somebody else is out there. It's going to go and send me a text message from a cell phone. And you can see immediately how that message shows up there. I basically click on my Office Line app, click on messages, and the message is right there. So that's very simple to use, very simple if I want to reply. Obviously, I just go ahead and start typing back and click and send the message. These are SMS messages, exactly as the ones that you're sending from your mobile today, only that, as you can see here, this is being sent from an application, so from an TECHIE application, so the number that I'm using is my office number and not my personal number. So it becomes very useful when you don't want to give away your cell phone number and keep, messages at the palm of your hand, which is basically on the device that you're using anyways, right? So this is a very simple application to use. I don't have many much features that I want to show you here on its settings. I just wanted to go over the basics of Office Line. Office Line is basically a true substitution of your desk phone, okay? The nice thing about having this Office Line, this soft phone from TECHIE installed on your smartphone, is that you can decide whether to make a phone call right off your native mobile phone to somebody you don't care about, providing them with your personal phone number, or if you want to make a business phone call, it's, you're using Office Line right here. So having said that, if you take a look, I'm just going to stop mirroring my iPhone right here. If we go to our portal, find that really quick. If we go to our portal, not only you can see the messages that were sent, all right? So Office Line is receiving messages as well as the portal. So those are the same messages that you saw before. But also, when clicking on messages, you see all those. But also, every phone call made from Office Line, every phone call made from that phone number is going to show up on my call history. So what that means is that obviously, right here, I'm totally accountable for all those phone calls being done from Office Line. So if Office Line was used by a group of your salespeople and you want to be checking on them, and they tell you that they're making phone calls from Office Line on their smart device, and you don't see them here, well, it's not true. They're simply not doing it. So this won't specify where the call was made from because I have several phones, but at least I know that the calls were made from the business account. So this is a very simple application, very friendly, very easy to use. Again, it's free of charge. There's no cost associated with having the application. It doesn't matter if you have the application running on your iPad, on your iPhone, and then on your computer. You actually, when you do that, you will actually have 3 different devices that are logged in under the same account. So If you have Office Line right here, which I know that this one, because of the I that you see on the left side for iOS, and the T for desktop, if you had those two running, one on your smartphone and the other on the desktop, right here on Answering Rules, we saw that on Techie Thursday last week, when you click on Ring All Users' Phones and somebody dials my number, either my DID or my extension, all of those will ring simultaneously. So if I step up for lunch, my phone's gonna be ringing, my Office Line is gonna be ringing on my desk, right there, the T that you see right there, and right here on my iPhone, on my smartphone, as you see on the 5295. So guys, that's all. This is a very simple application that's totally free for all of our users. There's no limit in the amount of simultaneous logins that you might have, as long as it is with your same account. So make sure that you don't share accounts to log into your Office Line, because the account that you log in is the one that's going to be showing your extension, and that's the one that is going to be presenting the caller ID and receiving calls into the DID associated with your account. So wanted to see if there's any questions regarding Office Lines, so that we can answer before we end this quick and short session. See anybody? Look for the Q&A right here. Can I try Office Line for my mobile to see if I like it? Of course you can try it, as long as you're an TECHIE customer. You can download the application, and using your portal credentials, the ones provided by our customer support team, you can go ahead and try it. If you feel it's not for you, it's not going to do any harm if it's installed on your iPhone or your smart device or your computer. You can simply delete it, no harm done. This is a separate question. Can I integrate regular cell phone and fixed lines phone into my TECHIE setup? I'm not pretty sure I understand this question exactly. Regular cell phone and fixed line phones into my TECHIE setup. So your cell phone, your native cell phone, meaning your AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile account that you have, cannot be brought into TECHIE. That's a separate network, and we have no access whatsoever. What you can do is that you can have your TECHIE phone number, your TECHIE account on your smart device or your computer, as I mentioned before. So you can have, as I showed you on my personal, on my iPhone, I have my native dialer, meaning I'm using AT&T. And so when I make calls from my native dialer, I'm using my AT&T account, mostly for personal calls. But then if I select my Office Line, I'm pretty much making a phone call as if I was sitting on my desk. If somebody dials my TECHIE number and not my AT&T number, then that number is going to ring on my cell phone. If I'm using either account, meaning if I made a call on my iPhone with the native AT&T or iPhone dialer using AT&T, and somebody calls me on my TECHIE number, it's just going to behave as a regular incoming call, and the person dialing in is just, it's just a call waiting for me. But iPhone and Android devices are going to be basically specifying that the call is coming in from the application and not from your personal account. So you know how to answer that call, if that would be a way to answer, if that would be the way that you answer your phone calls. Thank you for calling TECHIE. How can I help? Can I port one or more of my current business phone numbers to TECHIE? Yes, you can port numbers. Just guys, keep in mind, remember, the numbers that you're using today for your business, even your personal numbers, are always yours. You can always port them into your current or new provider. Nobody can ever tell you that those numbers belong to X provider. Those are your numbers. So yes, if you want to move your service into TECHIE, you can port all your numbers, and actually you can have multiple DIDs associated with your account. So let's say that you're porting in 2 different numbers from 2 different regions. You're porting a 954 number from Broward County, and you're porting in a 415 number from San Francisco. You can point those 2 numbers to your account, and that means you can point those 2 numbers to your smartphone device or your desktop. Can I place 911 calls from the app? Absolutely not. There's no way that we allow 911 calling, because of the mobility of the phone, we wouldn't know where you are. So 911 is not supported. Now, you have your cell phone in your hand. Why would you dial 911 from the soft phone application rather than the carrier, right? So, I mean, I understand the question, but it's not a limitation. If you were to dial 911, simply click on the native dialer and do that. Is it a separate cost for text message? Yes, but we have a fixed price of $2.99 for unlimited inbound and outbound messages. So it is a separate price for text messaging, whether you're receiving or making or sending those messages from the office line application on your smartphone, or sending or receiving those messages on the portal as you saw before. How much does Office Line for mobile cost? It's absolutely free. There's no charge for the app. You can simply go to the Google Play or Apple App Store, download the application. Request, if you don't already have, your Nexergy credentials, and as soon as you log in, you can start making calls. So one of the nice things about this is that you can actually have a virtual PBX environment if you come to think about it, because you can contract our services and have only Office Line installed on computers and smartphones and never ever depend on a physical device. If you were to see my desktop right now, there's no phones right here. It's only my iPhone. And every time I'm making a phone call, I'm just clicking on Office Line. If I'm making a business call, I'm clicking on Office Line and making calls from my computer. If I want to walk away, I basically transfer that call to my cell phone and walk away with the phone, but I'm still making an office, a call from my office from an Nexergy number. So I see that there are no more questions. Guys, again, thank you very much for attending Techie Thursday. Please stay tuned for next week's edition. I hope that this was pretty easy to understand. It was just pretty straightforward. Obviously, if you want to try the application, if you're an Nexergy customer, please call us at 1-866-NEXERGY1, and our customer service department will be more than happy to help you. You can also email us at support.nexergy.com and ask for a callback. You can also SMS or text our toll-free number if you don't want to dial in. You can always SMS or text 1-866-NEXERGY1, type your question, and one of our representatives will be more than happy to reach out. So, if we don't have any other questions, which we don't, we're gonna basically end up this session. And guys, thank you very much for attending Techie Thursday, and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Goodbye.